Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Horn of Plenty podcast, episode 2. Here you got your first host, Vapi Chulo, and the co-host.
Rico Grande.
All right. So, for the listeners from last week, we said that we were gonna come. We were talking about Joyner Lucas's tribute video to Will Smith, and we talked about the accolades that Will Smith has, and then from that conversation stemmed an idea of Rico, Grande, and Vapi Chulo making a list of what projects have Will Smith done that has some type of attachment with us. Whether it was just that Hitch was a great, hilarious movie and you LOL'd several times, or a meaningful quote that he said in an interview, we're here to discuss it. All. Again, this list is not really ranked. Mine is going to be ranked on significance to me. Again, we are not attempting to make Will Smith's top 10 contributions to entertainment or the world. For everybody, this is our opinions. Anything else to add, Rico Grande?
No, not too much to add. I don't have quite 10 things myself. Came up with kind of a unranked top 5.
Okay.
Covering some big moments, at least for me. These definitely won't be everybody's top 5 moments.
Okay.
But they're the main ones for me. So we'll hop into it. We'll talk about it. We'll see where we agree, maybe where we disagree.
Okay.
And then talking about disagreements, we're going to hop into some controversy on the second half of the podcast. So without waiting too much longer, let's hop into it. Give me your first Will Smith moment.
My first Will Smith moment was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, bro. I'm not trying to talk too much about it because it's ranked significantly high on my list, but my first exposure to it, to him was because again I'm on the younger side of you of compared to you, sir. So I really wasn't hip to him when he was a rapper. I did a little bit more research. He was more in the music scene before he got his break doing the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and so my first introduction to Will Smith was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The intro was hip hop, right? And so growing up in the Bronx, I was like, oh, this is different. This isn't like all the other shows that I'm watching. Saw him in a couple of episodes, hooked. Went to school, everybody was talking about him, and so my first real exposure to him was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. How about you?
Same. When he was rapping, I was still, very young when he first debuted. So Fresh Prince was my first exposure. Mm-hmm. I didn't include all of Fresh Prince in my list. I included one scene from the entire series of Fresh Prince.
Well, don't jump into it then. Hold on. Don't jump into it. So you said that your first exposure was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
Correct.
And you said that you have 5 on your list?
Yes.
All right.
With one scene from Fresh Prince is on my list.
Okay. I think I should do fast money round on my bottom 5, so then we can go back to back on our 5, 4, 3, 2s, and 1s. How does that feel?
Sounds great. Let's go.
All right. So no more than 30 seconds on each topic. My number 10 is going to be one of the movies that I alluded to in the beginning of the podcast, Hitch. You remember Hitch?
Yes, I do.
Bro, Hitch was hilarious. There's a lot of quotables in there. One of my favorite things that I learned is, if the woman is jingling her keys, if she out there, she already got her keys in her hand and she just looking at it for a while. As a young buck, bro, I knew that was the sign. The other second thing that I got from Hitch was the you go 90, have her go the 10, right? And so Kevin James is one of is a big part of my childhood as well, because I remember watching King of Queens every time I came home back from school. So having Will Smith and Kevin James in a movie, Kevin James was great, Will Smith was great. That made my number 10.
Quick trivia question for you.
Yes.
So Hitch, his co-star was Eva Mendes, right?
Yes.
Do you know the first time they worked together? What project that was on?
both of them together, I no, I would not know from the top. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know. I'm not even gonna pretend like I know any other thing where both of them have worked together. So
she made a cameo appearance in the Welcome to Miami video.
yeah, okay, all right, I like that. Was that before or after Hit? You think?
No, that was before. That was one of her very first roles that she got in 1998.
That's dope. That's good. He just randomly knows that on the back of his. He just randomly keep that in the tuck.
Oh yeah, I'm a Jeopardy master.
Jeopardy master, bro. Okay, so anything else I had to hitch? I'm just on for the YouTube viewership. You know that we try to hook you up with a visual when you join us, and so there's Miss Mendez right here, Kevin James over here. Great movie that made my number 10.
Great movie, bad soundtrack.
You know what? I don't remember what the soundtrack was, and that probably proves your point. Like if I can't remember a single song, I would say that ending scene where they was dancing, whatever song they was playing, that was my jam.
Okay, you don't remember it though.
I don't remember it though. So I'm not gonna argue for it because again, if I don't remember it, it means that it was forgettable, and so that's it. But all right, my number 9, "Summertime," the song.
Oh, that was one of mine.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so we won't get too much into it, but that made my number 9. I think it's important to, and I'm going to fact check myself, I think it's important to mention that "Summertime" won a Grammy. So do you know if that's the case?
I couldn't tell you.
All right, let's see. "Summertime," I'm going to pull up right here because we fact check in this show when we remember. And
I know every summertime will be playing right at the beginning of summer.
That is still that is still on the summertime playlist. And for one of these podcasts, I want to hear what your summertime playlist is. 10 songs, no less, no more.
All right, we'll do. That's definitely on the horizon.
Okay, so "Summertime" was released in May 1991. We'll pull it here so the viewers can see, and won a Grammy Award for best for at the 1992 Grammy Awards. So that's anybody who gets a Grammy automatically makes the history books. "Summertime" is just a really good song, and the fact that every time it's summer, you know, I don't know how y'all feel, but sometimes you have those songs that take you back and that you need. It goes well with the season. "Summertime" is always there.
Yeah, much better than "Summertime Sadness" by Lana Del Rey.
What did you ever hear that? That "Summertime." All right, I'm not gonna do all that. But that's a different discussion. I like Lana Del Rey, but okay, moving on quicker. 8, "Men in Black." I don't have to say much about that. "Men in Black" was popping. Will Smith, I personally think that was one of his really big roles early on. And the fact that you released an album called "Men in Black," something to go along with the movie, and made a lot of money on the movie end and the music end. That soundtrack was phenomenal. I have to give it a "Men in Black" at number 8.
Great pick. I got a little bit extra on that later on.
Perfect. 7, the movie "Ali." That's it.
Okay.
I like boxing. I think Will Smith did the damn thing. I thought it was very well done. And so whenever there is a mesh of my interest, it's just a good time. So Ali's there at number 7. Number 6. Right. I'm gonna cheat. This is where Victor has not followed the instructions. Okay. The instructions really said that Will Smith's contributions, whether it be interviews, quotes, or whatever, Rico Grande and the Rico Grande knows this already, but the listenership will figure out very quickly that I am really corny. And so at number 6, I have him being a dad. So,
all right.
This is gonna go to. I'm gonna talk more about a scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that hit me pretty hard growing up. Really good scene. He talks a lot about being the best person, not just for him, but for his family. And so when you see how he supports his kids and his wife. And then when you see him take accountability for the things that he's done wrong, man, he is a great dad, and it inspires me to be like the best dad I could possibly be when I eventually have kids.
Hey, all great points. I can't take anything from you there.
All right. So now we hit the top five, and Rico Grande, start with your top five.
All right, starting with my top five. I think my number 5 is somewhere on your list. So I'm gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
And that is the "Why Don't He Want Me" scene from Fresh Prince.
Ooh, okay.
This is for the viewers of the show. Will's dad came into the scene for a little bit. Was seeming like everything was going well, and then at the very end, right when it was time to step up to be the man, to be the dad, he abandons Will once again. He's having this conversation with Uncle Phil. Said, he taught himself to shave, he taught himself to dress, he taught him all this, and then he breaks down, screams, "Why don't he want me?" And in a very famous unscripted part of the scene, Uncle Phil just gives him a big old hug and holds him tight, and then it pans into the little statue of the father with the son. Oh, a tearjerker.
Listen, man. So, spoiler. That's my number 2. that's my number 2, and I'm seeing if I could pull up. Here we go. We'll just have some of these images up for people who are like wagging their finger trying to figure out what scene we're talking about. Just look at the outfit. You already know the scene based off the outfit. So growing up, man, I didn't have a dad. My dad left the family when I was around 10. It's not even a cool story, like, and I shouldn't even say cool, but like it's not even as interesting as or sadly as common as Homeboy went to jail or Homeboy passed. Homeboy just really said that he was tired of us and dipped, right? And when I was growing up, I always had to try to. I didn't have that male figure. All of my male father figures were the teachers in school, and that's why education is really important to me. And we need to respect our teachers a lot more. They do more jobs than just teach, but that's a whole different conversation. And so you could tell that there was some sincerity in that. He lived part of that. There's an interview where he discusses this scene and why it hurts so much. It was just I think that also put Will Smith in a whole new different light. He was the rapper, he was the party starter, he was the comedian in the show, and so people were like, but can you, like, do you have range, right? And so to see this, man, goosebumps. I cried the first time that I saw this scene. And this is a legendary scene from the show, man. So that's my number 2. I'm glad you had it on your top 5.
Awesome. Let's move into the next one. What you got?
All right. So my number 5, The Pursuit of Happiness.
Great film.
A great film. One of my favorite films from Will Smith's catalog. I mean, I'm just going to say it like this, man. It just had a lot of important concepts, and you can talk about several of them. The idea of the American dream, how far a father is willing to go for his kid, trying to, that hustle mentality, that never say no attitude, man. It's just a great film. It's just a great film. It's something I like films where you can have a lot of lessons, or at least one good lesson. There are several things to take out of that film. So that's my number.
Agreed.
That's my number 5.
Yeah, and based on a true story. I mean, it's not just a Hollywood story. It's based off of a man's life out there trying to do the best. Became a very successful person. Great film. Not too much other to say. I mean, it's just a great movie. You watch it, you cry, you feel happy. So we're gonna move on.
All right. So you're number 4.
My number 4. Mine are not ranked. They're just moments.
Okay.
And this one's gonna be a little controversial here.
Okay.
It is. I believe that there are 2 good Will Smith movies that get no kind of critical acclaim.
Okay.
And those 2 movies are 7 Pounds and Collateral Beauty. Have you seen either of those movies?
I like 7 Pounds, and I agree with you that it is a slept on film. And I have not seen the second one.
Collateral Beauty is something similar where he loses a daughter. He kind of loses his grip of his company. So then his coworkers try to make it seem like he's talking to himself to then take away the ownership of the company from him. But it deals with grief, losing a child. Neither movie were got the big acclaim, but there were two movies that when I watched them by the end, they got me emotional.
Okay.
So,
I think I
uh,
can. I'm gonna share with you a scene that I saw in preparation for this, and I want you to tell me if this is a scene from that film. Okay, the second one.
gotcha.
There is a scene where Will Smith is I think on a train with a woman, and before she says something, he goes, "What you gonna say?" And then he basically goes on this soliloquy of him just going, "Hey, or are you gonna tell me that she's in a better place now? Or you're gonna tell me that something philosophical like we aren't really alive until somebody dies and then we're alive, and or are you gonna tell me what other people have told me already, where it's she only really dies when we forget about her and her impact that she had on us. You know what? I don't give a damn because she's not here to hold my hand." Is that one of the scenes from that film?
Yeah, that is
Okay.
the movie.
Bro, I've
Yeah.
never heard that movie. I've never seen that movie, and I saw a very small snippet of it today, and I was like, "What film is that?" He bodied that scene. I was angry for him. I just assumed it was his wife. Like typically with movies like this, it's typically like the significant other that dies, and so that's really cool. I'm definitely gonna have to check it out now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think later.
What film do you like? Which one would you give? Like if it was raining and cable wasn't working and you had two DVDs and it was 7 Pounds or Collateral Beauty, which one you playing first?
I probably watched 7 Pounds first just because it has a sad slash happy ish ending.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, I mean, you see the end, and to me, it was like, oh man, that was the end.
Okay, not a
It's a
popular
little,
ending.
little rougher.
Okay,
Um, I have no kids,
okay,
so it's not like any of them was speaking to me from a personal standpoint. But I thought, man, if this happened to me in the future, I would be done.
okay.
So Collateral Beauty kind of tugged at the heartstrings a little bit more than 7 Pounds.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, moving on.
All right, that was your number four, right?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, my number four is going to be the infamous Red Table Talk episode with Jada and Will, man. Have you seen that?
I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Listen, I always appreciate when people take accountability for the wrong that they have done to family members or friends and then articulate it in a way to where it is a lesson for the people listening. So, just as an idea, it was the episode aired I believe October 2018, and they talked about things like their marriage and how he views success and his kids, and there was a lot of gems that he dropped. I'm gonna go talk a little bit about the accountability portion that from the show. He talked about how he had a huge ego at a point and didn't realize that the things that he was doing was actually for him, because he was doing all of these things for his family members thinking that it was the best thing for their family members, but really it was to serve him and his ego. And so one of the things that he says is, and this is a direct quote, this is in regards to him celebrating Jada's, which is his wife, her 37th birthday. He goes, "The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis, and it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love." And then he says that she told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego. and then end quote, and I'm gonna input what I think he wanted to say is, and damn, that joint hurt. And so that hit me because it's just like, yo, you do things for other people assuming that it's the best for them, or you think that that's what they really want, and at some point you have to, it's cool if your significant other or whoever likes grandiose things, then cool. But he then later talks about like how she said she didn't want anything like that, and so I think there's two things to learn from that. It's one, it's okay to just ask whoever what would you prefer, and give them the benefit of the doubt in saying like that's for sure what they want and executing it, right? And then I think the second one is if it's gonna be something that grandiose, then I think you need a cosign. It may not be the cosign from the person that it's for, because you may want that to be a surprise, but you need a cosign for it, because that's ridiculous. Let my significant other try to pull that off. I'm be like, yo, how much did this cost? Like that's gonna be my first question, right? We could be making a lot of money, and my first question is gonna be like, one, why is there a trombone player with a trumpet player? Why is somebody playing the conga drums? Like those three instruments don't really mesh well together. So that's the first thing that I got out of it. I got a second thing, but I want you to jump in if you have anything to say about that topic.
No, just knowing your partner, knowing who you're with. If you're in a long-term relationship, that's definitely something that comes into play, is not doing the things the way that you want them to be done, but the way that they want them to be done, is something big that couples have to learn along the way. But no, very good. I didn't see that whole conversation, so I can't contribute too much more to that one.
All right, well, let me give you the second one, because the second one was my favorite part of and it's still under, and you see Vapi Chulo cheats all the time when it comes to these things. So I put two big moments under my number 4, because it was part of the same episode. So in that same episode, they talk about how they argue, right? And everybody argues. It's just what side, how you handle your arguments. And he talks about how he used to like just either storm out, or they would both just yell, and then he was able to articulate to Jada in a much more effective way when he needed space. And this is a direct quote that he said, which really hit home to me. He said, and again, they were arguing, this was in the heat of the moment, and he said at some point, he said something along these lines: I can't be loving right now, I can't be kind right now, so you have to let me go, and when I come back, I will come back in a way that is a way you deserve me to deliver myself to you. Fam, snaps. Like that's just, there's two great things that I like about that. One, it's the Will is acknowledging that in some at some points, like, there's no way to articulate feelings properly, and he doesn't want to add fuel to the fire anymore. And so I do believe that sometimes it's better for people to articulate, I need a break, because honestly, the way I am right now, it may escalate, and I'm not trying to do that. The second thing that I got from that quote was, man, the respect that he has and the admiration that he has for his wife. Because again, the way that you deserve me to deliver myself to you is him saying, listen, I respect you a lot, I love you a lot, and you don't deserve how I may come to you if I stay the way that I am. And you do not deserve that. You as my wife, you as a person that I love, do not deserve me this way. You do not deserve for me to be angry or destructive or disruptive in this way. And so, out of respect to you, I'm walking out. Versus him throwing a lamp and saying you ain't shit and then storming out. That's crazy. I love that.
Yeah, very good. I hear it and I wonder, how long did it take to get there?
Fam.
Because Jada used to be in a metal band.
Oh.
So she's able to scream.
No, absolutely.
There must have been, a lot of bricks laid on the road to that happiness.
Right.
Good.
Oh, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop into my next one.
All right.
And what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna combine a couple because we've hit on them before. I don't want to spend too much more time on it, and we're gonna keep this train going.
Okay.
One was summertime. We talked about summertime.
Hey.
Once it gets a certain temperature outside,
Yup.
everything changes. I remember watching this video and many other videos in the 90s, and I remember wanting to have a convertible so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I never got a convertible, and now I'm not sure that I would want one.
Mm-hmm.
But, I can imagine going to the park in the convertible. You got the music playing, people grilling, people playing basketball.
Right.
My hometown didn't have any of that.
Mm-hmm.
but I always thought it looked cool. So summertime, great song, great video. It's a whole vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. We also talked about this one as well, so I'm going to keep it short. And that was not just the Men in Black movie, but the Men in Black single for the movie.
Yep.
And specifically the scene where he's dancing with the alien.
Yep.
It's like, take a walk with me, take a walk. I remember young Rico Grande. I was Rico Chiquito.
Rico Chiquito.
And trying to emulate the dance moves in my living room as I would watch it on the video. Good times when that came out. So those are joint. Those two are together. I only have one more item on my list, so I'll shoot it back over to you.
Yes, because that's your number one, right?
It's just the last one.
Okay. All right.
I couldn't rank these because they're a little bit different, but it's the last one.
Okay. So very quickly, my number 3 is my favorite Will Smith song of all time. Getting jiggy with it, nah, 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 nah. Get jiggy with it, nah, 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 nah. That's my favorite Will Smith song. There really is there's no like story about how this song was playing when I got my first kiss. It's just a really hype song that I like to get jiggy with. So this song is gonna play in my wedding set for sure. That video was a good time, so that's my number 3. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been a very early first kiss for you when that song came out.
That's where I would have been still. Like my parents would still be thinking about the possibility of me. And so, getting jiggy with it is my number 3. My number 2 is the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and everything that encompasses it. I'm not gonna talk a lot about it at this point because I already discussed. What I was going to discuss was that theme song impacted me a lot because I grew up in the Bronx, and so hip hop, birthplace of hip hop was the Bronx, and so all I listened to was hip hop, and so to see hip hop influences in a show at that age was like, wow, okay, this is not just my neighborhood, this is basically universal, and so that was cool. And that dad scene again was probably There's probably like a handful of times I cried in that show. The two that I can remember is when Will got shot, but the one that caused me to cry the most was definitely that dad scene. And so all of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air goes into my number 2.
All right. Well, I'll hop into my very last one.
All right.
And comparatively to all the others, it might be his actual weakest moment.
Oh, interesting.
But when it happened, I was not expecting it at all.
Okay.
And that is Will Smith's cameo in Anchorman 2.
Oh my God. That's funny.
So I love the Anchorman movies. There's only 2. The very first one, when it came out, I mean, I was quoting it 24/7. So when the second one came out, looking forward to it. And when they did the news anchor fight round 2 times 1,000, went Super Saiyan on us.
Mm-hmm.
His character coming out was just unexpected. It just added to that whole movie for me. So unexpected Will Smith moment, but it had to make the list for me.
You know what? I laughed, but I laughed because I could see why you would put it on the list. Anchorman is a great film, and so with all those random cameos at the end, I was already thrown off the first time I saw it, and then who comes out? Will Smith. And so I think anytime you can hear something and remember the exact place, time, and who you were with when the event happened, I think it's very impactful. And I remember that I was in the movie theater with one of my ex-girlfriends, and Will Smith came on, and because every time a new one of the actors came out, we said, "Oh, that person's there." And then when Will Smith came out, we were the only two in the theater that said, "Oh, Will Smith." And so I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one.
All right, let's get your number one mover.
Fam, all right, I'm about to get in my bag. Y'all ready? My
right, let's go.
number one, and for me, this debatably is top 3 contributions to entertainment, all collectively, not just my list. I think this has to be on the top 3. Okay.
All right.
Is the song Parents Just Don't Understand. And let me tell you why. It's not because of the lyricism. It's not because of the cadence. It's not because of any of that. It's because of what it did for hip hop as a genre and the stand that he took. Okay, so for people who don't understand the significance of Parents Just Don't Understand, it was nominated for the Grammys in the 31st Annual Grammy Awards back in 1989. Okay, 1989 was the first year that the Grammys had the best rap category. Because, when hip-hop was coming out, everybody had something to say about it. It was either, oh, that's cool, or, oh, why is that even a sound? Like, that shouldn't exist. It was one of those things that were really reserved for the young bucks, all right? So, it took somebody of Will Smith, and this is a debate later on, a lot of people have about it, had more, clean raps. And so he was able to get into the pocket of parents and kids, because kids could be a little rebellious listening to it, and the parents would be like, okay, he's not saying anything obscene or crazy, right? So anyways, he got nominated for it, and he boycotted going to the Grammys because they weren't planning on televising that portion of the show. And so here's a direct quote that he said. He said, "We chose to boycott it." He said that the idea of the afternoon of the award, when they found out that portion wasn't going to be televised, was a quote slap in the face. You go to school for 12 years, they give you your diploma, and then deny you that walk down the aisle. End quote. So he could have been just anybody, just being happy that he got nominated for the award, right? At that point, a lot of people figured that he was going to get it, just because when you look at who else was there, it's probably the most clean and it entered the majority of the pockets together, and he was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And guess what? He won the award, didn't accept it because he wasn't there, and the very next year they televised the best rap category.
Awesome. I did not know any of this, so I am learning today on the Horn of Plenty podcast.
Yes.
About Will Smith history, hip hop history, and Grammy history. So thank you for that contribution to the list.
Absolutely. All right, so listen, at this point, just to let everybody know, this Will Smith portion is going to be cut and put into YouTube in case you ever just want to revisit this part of the podcast. And if you want to, under the comments, talk about your the most impactful stuff that Will Smith has contributed to entertainment that made you go wow, or made you laugh, or made you be a different person, or seek something else. All right?
All right. Sounds good. I'll be out there for the viewers, the listeners. We always want that listener engagement and feedback if you're listening to the show. But now we're going to jump into something new, Vapi Chulo.
Oh, what we doing?
We're going to talk about some controversy.
What you mean?
Now, on our Will Smith list, not a lot of controversy.
No.
We had a little bit too much agreement. I don't like it.
Ooh, okay.
Life is always a little bit more fun when there's some arguing to be done.
Absolutely.
And we got some opinions for the listeners, for the watchers, some controversial opinions that is hopefully get some people talking.
Okay.
I got 5. I believe you have 5.
I have 10.
Oh, 10. A whole 10.
I thought we wanted 10, man. So I have it.
I'll put it this way. I have 5 really good ones.
Okay.
And I have 5 we'll see.
So Rico Grande, let me get this right, man. What I'm hearing is that we may be having a debate.
That's what it sounds like.
All right. Well, you know what? Then we need a proper graphic of this, and so we're gonna throw this on the screen, man. We're gonna throw the Democratic debate picture with Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and Joseph Biden. Okay, to get in the spirit of the debate.
Yo, I wanted Denzel Washington from The Great Debaters, but it's okay.
I will get that after the first 2. You know what? I promise you, I will put that picture up after like the first 2.
All right. And just like the Democratic National Committee, you left out Andrew Yang.
Bro, it's the cool thing to do, man. It's the cool thing to do.
I guess as long as I get my $1,000, we're good.
There you go.
All right. So I'm gonna hop in with something light, and then I'm gonna get into the most controversial stuff at the end.
Okay.
The first one might not even be that controversial, depending on what kind of person you are.
Okay.
And that is, Halloween is a better holiday than Christmas.
All right, let me get your thoughts on it. Expand.
All right. So Christmas, you're expected to buy presents, right?
Facts.
Halloween, candy. Candy's much cheaper than presents.
Facts.
Halloween, you could dress up. You could be anyone you want.
Okay. Within reason, but keep going.
We keep it PG.
That's a whole other debate topic, I guess. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, we're not doing like the Chainsaw Massacre where he's wearing faces.
And you have an actual real chainsaw with blood running around your cul-de-sac.
No, we're nothing that crazy.
All right.
So far, candy's cheaper than presents. You can wear costumes. And the last and probably the greatest reason is that Halloween movies are much, much better than Christmas movies.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So let me give you my take. My take is I'm a Grinch anyways, and I don't like Christmas. I don't like Christmas for several reasons. That you know what, I'm saving all of my reasons for the winter special podcast. So I'm not gonna just know for the listenership that Vapi Chulo dislikes Christmas, and we will get into that at a future date.
8 months from now.
And so I am fine with saying Halloween is better. However, I would say that Dia de los Muertos is way better of a holiday than Halloween. That's what I would say. I would say that there's way more culture in Dia de los Muertos. There's much more cool stuff that happens with that. There is going to be a special that we do down the line as well, where Vapi Chulo just talks about how dope Dia de los Muertos is. And so
what I can say, and tell me if I'm wrong here. You've never celebrated Dia de los Muertos.
Bro, no, but I saw Coco.
How you got a Puerto Rican and a Dominican talk about a Mexican holiday?
Listen, because I've seen Coco, and watching Coco led me to doing some research on Dia de los Muertos, and I saw Breaking Bad, And there's this they go to Mexico for part of the episode, and they do some Dia de los Muertos shit. And I'm like, I did some research on like why they do all that stuff, and it's cool, and it's way more meaningful than Halloween. So
all right, I guess the real debate here was now Halloween versus Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah,
we'll have that in
for the Halloween special.
For the Halloween special.
All right, what else you got?
All right, let's jump into one of yours.
Oh, one of mine.
Well, no, we'll alternate here.
All right, so,
I got some heavy hitters toward the end.
All right, so let me go with some like low, like some real small ones, right? Okay, because I got some pretty serious ones here. All right, school uniforms should be required.
For me, that's not even controversial.
Okay.
I went to Catholic school growing up, so I had to wear a uniform from second grade till the end of high school.
Okay.
You get a little rotation. You don't got to worry about name brands. You don't worry about logos. You save money. Mm-hmm. I'm actually all for it, so that's not controversial at all to me.
Word. So that was my rationale. My rationale was, there's a lot of bullying that goes on. If you're a viewer, you were either bullied or were the bullier. And if you were the bullier, I hope that you've grown up. I hope you just don't do that corny stuff anymore. And so I think it's a good way. There's a debate to be had about, you still have to pay the $40 or the $50 for 2 shirts and the pants, but I mean, I could easily just say if you buy a couple of them and then wash them consistently in your bathtub, then you'll spend less money down the line than your kid coming to you crying because they didn't have the right sneakers or the name brands. And so I just think it's better for those reasons, and so that's mine. All right, so since that wasn't controversial, let me hit you with another one.
All right, let's go.
Let me hit you with one because that one was like, okay, that one maybe out of a level 10, that was probably level 1. Let me hit you with something outlandish, okay?
All right.
I think the military should make a new branch, and this new
Space Force.
No, not Space Force, not Space Force. And
all right,
it should be for remote fighting. I'm a pacifist. I don't like it, but I do acknowledge that sometimes we need to go to war, right? So it should be for remote fighting, and so my concept is robot fighters, and you would enroll people who play video games well to control the robo fighters.
Vapi Chulo, I got some news for you.
Oh yes. They made a movie about it already called Transformers.
No. They're called drones.
Oh, that's fair. That is very fair. That's fair.
And the people that operate them there's probably like a dude in the office in like his basement that does it.
Very fair.
It's already remote. So we're not doing like
no Gundams though, bro. I'm thinking about Gundams. But like I don't.
Well, the person was inside the Gundam.
That's fair. Well, I was just gonna say like I don't want the person inside the Gundam. But I mean, if that's the only because you can't get like nerds would be too scared to like get into like I want the nerds who like can do 16 kill streaks in 30 seconds to like if we had to take it there to be able to from their safety of their gamer chair to just get 16 kill streaks in like 15 seconds. You start telling them they may die, then they start like lying, saying that their asthma is gonna affect their.
I think there was a movie. Wasn't that a movie called Ender's Game?
I've never heard or seen this movie.
I may be getting the movie wrong now, but it's like a little boy that could like do all these fighting simulations, and he's just like on deck of a thing way far away from it. I think there might be something like that.
Okay. Well,
who knows?
That's mine. So, do you agree with me or no? Do you think that's even too ridiculous for you to entertain me with an answer?
I think it's happening. I think it's kind of on the way of happening. So there's nothing more to really debate on that one, other than it might be the
future. Okay. All right. I put Denzel for you on the screen now.
There we go. Great movie.
Yes, it is.
All right, I got another light one.
Okay.
Because then the next one I'm gonna hit you with is gonna be some fire.
Okay.
So another light one, at least to me, Burger King has far surpassed McDonald's as a better fast food brand.
I'm vegan, and so I have no opinion.
You can eat their Impossible Burger.
Actually, I have, and it is delicious. So I guess by that alone, I would agree with you. I will tell you that I typically do not eat French fries, and so my question for you is: when I was eating French fries, still, like there was really no debate as far as McDonald's versus Burger King. It was like they had the crown, McDonald's for French fries. Is it still that way today?
For me personally, they're at number 3 now.
Oh my God. What is the list? I would say so. Actually, I have a suspicion as to who is 1 or 2 now. But you're saying that they're number 3?
Yeah.
All right. Can we agree? Can we agree that they did have the crown for a long time?
No, they definitely did. Like of all the fast food items, McDonald's fries were probably tier triple S number 1.
Okay.
All right, but to me now, and I have no ranking for these two, but when Burger King put salt on their fries,
okay,
they are above for me personally.
Okay.
And because of the sauce that you are able to put onto these fries,
okay,
Chick-fil-A.
Okay. The waffle
Chick-fil-A
fries.
They got the waffle fries. They have the Polynesian sauce.
Okay.
Polynesian sauce versus sweet and sour sauce is not even a debate, so we're not even going to talk about it.
I'm not mad at it. So now that we've done the ballpark ones, I'm going to hit you with some of my controversial ones. And
all right, let's go.
Transition is seamless because we talked about me being vegan. One of my controversial topics, and I know it is one for sure. Everyone should commit to not eating meat 1 day out of the week.
Okay.
Oh, Rico Grande's carnivorous self is quaking. He's like, oh, she's trying to take my double steaks. Oh, I eat steak on top of steak, and it's delicious.
I am a heavy meat eater. So much to the point where, like, if a meal doesn't have meat, I'm disappointed.
You feel like a rabbit.
It's like what is this? So, but I would say there are a lot of people who do meatless Mondays.
School systems are doing that now.
I was raised up Catholic, so during Lent, we didn't have the meat.
You had fish.
We had fish. Which vegans don't really care about fish as much as they care about other animals.
It depends what type. So this is a good podcast we should have. There are pockets of vegans. So you have the vegans that are vegans for the environment. You have vegans that care about the animals. And so if you're part of that veganism group, then you would care about fish. Whereas if you're a vegan in the vegan group of the environmentalists like I am, you really don't care about fish as much being consumed, because the footprint that goes into distributing and packaging fish is nowhere near the amount of footprint that is released making producing and packaging red meat and stuff such as that.
Okay. Well, I could easily commit to 1 day with no meat, but then make that a seafood day. Seafood Sundays.
Okay. All right. So okay. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. But my point, let me tell you why. Again, I think this country is finally, at least the conversations are getting more serious about the negative environmental impact that we are contributing to, and all the scientists agree that there are the top 2 things that impact the environment negatively, and that is emissions coming from factories, and it's our agricultural system. The majority of scientists agree that those are the 2 reasons that we are in the situation that we're in. And if we drastically scale that back in some shape, way, or form, then we can add a couple of more years before this planet implodes.
Okay.
And for all you,
I am a man of science. Got my undergrad in physics. So
there you go.
If you're bringing up scientific topics, it's not a debate as long as you have your data.
Same. And for the episode where we tackle this, because I talk about this all the time, I will bring in the research. And one of the cool things about this podcast, first time listeners, which is basically all of you, is that we put on the YouTube videos, we will always cite things, verbally we'll do quotes, but then on the YouTube video, if we're citing research or an article, we will have that on the screen. And so the day we dive into why Vapi Chulo is vegan and whether it matters or not for people to not eat meat once a week. Is that actually going to make the difference? The research that I have done says yes, and we don't have enough time for me to give it to you. If you want to see that episode sooner rather than later, let us know. But I am ready to spend a whole podcast just talking about that alone.
All right. Well, the name of our podcast is Horn of Plenty. That means we talk about a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
So we've talked about Burger King. We've talked about we've talked about Halloween. We've talked about Meatless Monday.
Yes.
And now we're going to talk about something that I know both of us love.
Women.
And that is
women.
Yes, women. I don't love women. I love a woman.
Oh, you're married. All right, yeah, we can't have this stuff. Yeah. Your wife is probably the only podcast listener right now, so I respect it. Keep going.
So another thing that I know you and I both love is anime.
Oh,
anime.
Yes.
Yeah. Anime, for anyone that may be listening that isn't aware, is basically cartoons from Japan.
Yes.
Different countries have different titles for it, but plenty of anime series and topics. So I got one opinion from the world of anime.
Okay.
Goku. The star of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball GT is a bad protagonist.
There's no disagreement. I would even take it. Yeah, I'm listening.
I got I got a 1-2 punch, and that was just the first. That was the jab. I got the hook.
Okay, give it to me.
Dragon Ball Z is only good for nostalgia, and it's not actually a good story.
Say that last part again.
The Dragon Ball Z franchise is now only good for nostalgia. Bad story.
All right, there's a lot that we need to unpack here. There's a lot that we need to unpack here. So what? I don't even know where to start. Give me the first half of your question, so we can unpack this together.
That Goku is not a good protagonist, and then now almost 30 years that this entire franchise has been going on, has had almost no character development.
I agree with you on the no character development. I want to hear more about why you feel he is a bad protagonist.
So, I look at this, and it's kind of hard. Have you ever read a book, Vapi Chulo?
Have I ever read a book?
Yes. Have you ever read a book?
Fam, I've been in school for all of my life. I've never read a book for pleasure reading like a lot of people do. I read books for knowledge acquisition, forced knowledge acquisition most of the time. So yes, I have read a book.
Well, there you go. Let me take you back to English 101.
My liberal art requirement? All right, take me there.
So, main character of a story could either be static or dynamic.
Okay.
Static means they stay the same. And not a cool static like Static Shock.
Oh my God, yes.
That's a different story.
Yes, and a different podcast because I want to talk about favorite superheroes at some point, and that's my top 5. But keep going.
Or dynamic means they change, they grow, they have life experience, etc., etc. So Goku, I could sum up every single Dragon Ball story right now. Bad guy comes to Earth.
You're not wrong so far. So far, you're not wrong.
Okay, bad guy is stronger than the good guys.
Yes.
Good guys go away to train, come back stronger than the bad guy.
Okay.
They get stronger by yelling.
Which is dope. We're not going to pretend like that's not cool.
Which is dope. We've all tried it. We've all tried
absolutely.
It. Okay. So, good guy gets stronger by screaming.
Mm-hmm.
His hair turns a different color of yellow until it turns colors of red and blue.
Okay.
And then he wins.
Okay.
Now, he has kids over this period of time, neglects them to go train.
Uh-huh.
He dies, comes back to life.
Several times.
Mm-hmm. Absentee husband.
Mm-hmm.
Absentee father.
Mm-hmm.
Even to the point where there was a time where they could have wished him back to life. And he said, no, I'm good. I want to train.
Listen, I'm struggling to find a counterpoint. I agree with you, but it's not fun when we agree. So I'm trying really hard to like come up with a counterpoint that is significant enough to mention, and I can't.
Even where I'm watching new animes now, like My Hero Academia, and these characters, they're growing more. They have more character and growth development in one half of a season. Mm-hmm. Than Goku's had in almost 20 some 30 years.
Not a topic, but very quickly, I would like to say that arguably Vegeta has shown the most character development than any other character in this anime.
That is correct.
Yeah, I would.
He went from Saiyan Prince being a enemy of Goku to becoming a loose ally to becoming a friend to becoming a father.
Yep.
Actual involved and caring father.
Right. That's true.
Even to the point where this man was rocking a pink polo.
Oh, he looked fly with that pink polo. We gotta find a picture of the pink polo. He looked fly. He looked like he going to soccer practice, like his kid's soccer practice.
Yep, defended his wife when she got slapped by Beerus.
Oh, my man you didn't even mention he was wearing yellow pants. let me put this image up for everybody who's watching on the YouTube. My man is out here rocking the pink shirt with yellow pants.
He definitely had the my dad is a lawyer look.
Yep. Oh man, that's good. He looked like a doctor's sponsor. like he looked like a door-to-door salesman selling dress pants to people in your nearest cul-de-sac. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, hey man, these controversial topics, we've been struggling to find a controversy.
All right, you know what? No. I'm gonna go for it. This is definitely a little bit funny, but I'm semi-serious, and I'm gonna fight you every bit of the way because I know there's no way you agree with this. Are you ready?
Okay.
Arranged marriages should make a comeback. Let me explain. Everybody always want to talk about how you're your own person and you gotta do what is really in your heart and you have this autonomy to do what you gotta do. Let me start by saying no. Some of y'all are stupid. I've done stupid stuff. No, I'm being serious. I've done stupid stuff. Rico Grande has done stupid stuff, and we all know those people who are in a relationship, in a marriage that shouldn't be together. But because they want to be like, I think from the bottom of my heart that this person is my soulmate, and they really don't think about other factors, they end up in these really bad relationships and marriages. And arranged marriages exist for a couple of different reasons, but the one reason that I'm going to discuss for my point is because parents want their kids to be happy and provided for. And so they want to pick somebody that they know would treat their kid right or that they would provide for their kid. Now, I'm not saying that I don't want this to become an assumption of, well, you're just saying that the person needs to take care of them. No, I like progressive arranged marriages, which I know sounds like a hilarious concept, but I'm not talking about arranged marriages how it used to be, where, typically they just want to get somebody who has a lot of money or a lot of power and this and that. I'm talking about people with good values. If the parent is like, this is somebody I want my son or daughter to marry, I co-sign it. I know that I do not have to worry about how this individual is going to treat my kid, then cool. And so I think they should make a comeback. I think it should be a reality show, but keep going.
Now, I have a reason why I believe that Vapi Chulo wants arranged marriages.
Tell me. I'm at the edge of my
seat. Single people now. I'm so happy. I'm not single.
Uh-huh.
Very happily married. Wasn't arranged.
Uh-huh.
We met. We fell in love the way people do.
Okay.
Got married.
The way some people do, but keep going.
Like 90% of people. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm taller than my wife.
Okay.
I go out there. Well, I'm taller than most women in the world. I'm not a short guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're not exactly the same height as me now, Vapi Chulo.
I'm nowhere near it. I mean, remember the first episode we talked about Kevin Hart. I will release to the world. Now that you want to put me on the spot, I will release to the world that I am the same exact height as Kevin Hart. I'm not gonna say it. Just Google it. What it says.
You did release it the first episode. You did say it.
I said my exact height.
Well, you said you were the same height as Kevin Hart.
Exactly. So if you really want to know, just Google Kevin Hart's height. I'm exactly his height. All right, keep going.
Same as Bruno Mars. You're in good company.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we chilling out here, and that squad would be lit. We wouldn't win a single basketball game, but we would be lit. All right, keep it going.
Now, I'm shorter than both The Rock and Jason Momoa, who you compared me to.
Yeah.
But that 3-on-3 basketball game,
I would not participate. I would fake. I have great, I'm in great health, luckily. I have no asthma. The day that I see you and Aquaman and The Rock in basketball shorts, and The Rock is definitely going to have a stupid headband on, and Aquaman's going to have his joint in a man bun, I'm going to fake asthma. I'll be like, oh no, I'm going to fake allergies. There's too much pollen. And you're going to say, bro, we're indoors. And I'm going to be like, I don't care. I'm telling you, I have asthma's acting up.
Yeah, do you ever see the movie Tropic Thunder?
Yes, I have.
That's the uniforms we're going to wear.
No, and I'm leaving. I'm seeing that. Be like, they can't. I'm not doing this.
All right. So back to my point.
All right, keep going.
A lot of women.
And no, that is not the reason. You're stupid. Keep going.
Unfairly, we'll write off shorter people.
Uh-huh.
So if those short guys were like, yo, hey mom, hey dad, I still look up to you figuratively and literally.
Okay.
Can you pick someone for me and just make sure they say yes?
Yo, you know how much stress that would like lift off of the shoulders of some people? Let me tell you, I'm just about ready for somebody to just sign me up with somebody and I'll make the best out of it. This dating stuff is annoying, but that's a whole different podcast.
All right. So you're for it. I'm against it. My reasons were a little bit more on the entertainment side, but it's okay.
All right,
I'm gonna move on to my number one, the most controversial.
Okay.
All of these have been a little bit too light. Haven't had the controversy yet.
Okay.
So now I got to throw in the heavy hitter.
Okay.
Now, you're from New York.
Oh my God, yes.
You're from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
You're not from Brooklyn.
No, I'm not.
This person is from Brooklyn.
Okay.
This one is gonna rile up the hip hop fans.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Well, you might not.
No, I know for sure who it is, but keep going.
Biggie Smalls.
Oh, I lied.
You thought it was someone else.
Yep. All right.
Biggie Smalls.
Uh-huh.
Is no longer
a
top 5 rapper.
Okay, so let's.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Nor.
Uh-huh.
Nor.
Mm-hmm.
He may not even be in the top 10.
Okay. So what we're not gonna do. So what we're not gonna do is put him down the number 10. Let me start by saying that I understand probably all of the points that you're going to make. So I'm just gonna tell you why we can't do that, and then I want you to just tell me why you feel that way.
I got a list. I'm ready.
Cool. I think that when you're discussing top 10 lists, but especially in hip hop, you need to have kind of a key into your rating system. And it jumps from like sales to like influence to shifting the culture to whether there's a lot of different things. And so depending on the key, I could see Biggie not being on anybody's top 10. I always make the argument because Biggie in my personal top like 20 MC list is nowhere there. And the reason is because one part of my key is your discography, and unfortunately he did not have a long blessed life to give us more music. And so because that is part of my key when I'm making an MC list, he's not there. So tell me why you feel, because I still understand anybody who puts him in top 5. I understand anybody who puts him in top 10 because the impact that he had on the culture, and I'm talking about the very beginning of hip hop, right? Was way too significant, and that gives him a lot of points because there's a lot of great rappers, but there are a lot of rappers that have not done as much influential stuff as Biggie's done and has not impacted the genre the way that Biggie has. So let me hear your perspective.
All right. So I do have to first say that Biggie is one of my favorite rappers.
Okay. Yeah, clean it up. Backpedal.
No. But if I talk about favorite rappers, I'm also going to throw in people like Big Pun.
Okay.
And Big Pun.
He's from the Bronx too, just so people
like, you know, like the people that know Big Pun, if you're from that time, like everyone, you can't take away anything that Big Pun did. Obviously died too early.
Right.
So one of my favorite, but when I'm really kind of looking back, it's like, okay, I got this list ahead of me, and I actually got 15 people here.
Okay.
That I don't know if Biggie could take any of their places.
Okay, let's talk.
And this is not in order. I'm just going to give you these names real quick. I'm just going to start at 15. That's Andre 3000.
You see, but I already see the issue in your argument, bro. The issue in your argument is you're already mentioning somebody with a vast catalog who has shown much range. Biggie did not get the opportunity to show as much range as freaking... yes, I'm listening.
All right. Okay, so obviously Andre 3000 had the whole career with Outkast. Mm-hmm. But he's also regarded as one of the top lyricists, hands down.
Okay.
Like, he just is. Anyway, so I'm going to keep going. He's around 15, not ranked. These are just top 15, right?
Okay.
So Andre 3000, I'll go through the whole list and then you can give me the feedback.
Okay.
So Andre 3000,
mm-hmm.
Nas,
mm-hmm.
Kanye,
mm-hmm.
Snoop,
okay,
Kendrick,
yep,
J. Cole,
mm-hmm.
Tupac,
okay,
Jay-Z, Eminem, Drake,
okay.
And then the top 5, Dylon, and Dylon.
So this is obviously your personal list, right?
It's a top 15 that's hard to crack.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm no Dicky for the humor.
Okay. I'm not mad at the majority of the people that you've named. I also, this is what I think needs to be addressed before we move further with the conversation, is that I think when people talk about their top 15s, we need to talk about what year range we are talking about, because I know even as somebody who grew up in the South Bronx and know a lot of other names of rappers who should be in those top 10s and 15s, that some of us haven't listened to because we were introduced to hip hop when it was like super mainstream, and we focus on listening to the music from the last 15 years and not the last 30 years, right? I think it's important to say that our lists are based off of, the year that we really were introduced to it. So as that list, as far as like music from the last 30 years, I give it to you. That's a solid list.
All right.
So now going back to this Biggie thing, you're saying that all the people that you mentioned are can dethrone Biggie, or I shouldn't say dethrone. I should say take priority over him in a list. Is that what you're saying?
I say the easiest one to be kicked off would probably be Andre 3000, but
no, he's a legend. So run me by. We'll do this. Can you read the list one more time, one by one, and then I'll tell you my perspective on the Biggie stuff.
Well, I had the 5 Dylons for making the band.
Okay.
Obviously, that was a joke.
No, they're legends. I'm not arguing that. They're legends. Like if we were doing the meme bracket, they definitely have that slot for sure.
All right, so number 1, and I fully believe that when this man retires, he's going to be the undisputed king of hip hop.
Who?
And that is Drake.
Oh, okay. Listen, man, that's a whole different podcast. Let me tell you, like, as much as I can in, like, 2 sentences. I think you have a very good argument. I think that the argument will be strengthened when he retires in 57 years. Because, again, what I think should be part of everybody's key when making a list is influence and impact. And everybody would be playing themselves if they didn't think that Drake has impacted the genre and has not influenced the genre. You would be playing yourself. You would be playing yourself if you didn't look at the numbers portion of it and look at sales. And it just so right now, I would say Drake probably doesn't reach my top 5. I don't think it should touch anybody's top 7, but I definitely feel like if he keeps going at this rate, then there's a serious conversation to be had years down the line of him being top 4.
I think I'll put it this way: he could retire today and be in the top 3.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
And that's based off of numbers alone.
So this is my point. My point is that numbers is one part of the key. If we look at numbers alone, then you have to show me data that and I think the data exists, that he has way better numbers than Eminem. The reason I say that is because Eminem has a couple of records. I don't know if they have been broken yet for sales. And this is the difficult thing about numbers now that people aren't talking about. The numbers from way back then do not compare to the numbers now. Why? Because streaming did not exist in the capacity that it exists now. And so those numbers back in the day, in my opinion, were more influential than numbers now. I'll
put it this way: Eminem has more money sales, I think.
Okay.
Drake has more charting singles.
Absolutely. I would want to fact check that. I would assume that is the case, but I would want to see the data. But
I think when he released Scorpion,
mm-hmm.
it had beat the record that the Beatles had for most tracks on one of the charts at one point of time. He beat the Beatles by like 1 song.
Okay.
So you would have to find that, but
okay.
Eminem, I mean, is just the best selling. A lot of reasons there. That's a whole nother podcast.
Right.
J. Cole and Kendrick are the top 2 people right now.
Okay.
If you take Kanye from College Dropout and then you go to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and you stop.
No, I agree with you.
You focus on that part of his career. I mean, he is a absolute genius.
You don't like that Poopity Scoop song?
No.
Okay.
You're such a freaky.
Okay, let me tell you something. I trashed that song when it came out, and then I went to the club one night and they played that. Bro, I was doing that shoulder shimmy from the music video. You're such a I love it. I was out here killing the game, but
it is cat. It's dumb, but it's
it's stupid. No, it's super dumb. But
as in all rap music from this area, it's dumb. But catchy.
Okay, so what we're not gonna do is pretend that because I have to like I am in a space where I have to talk to adults a lot, and when I'm in like white suburban country, all of them, right? So then
our former workplace.
Our former workplace, man. Just for people who don't know, Rico, Grande, and I used to work together. It was we actually were probably the sole reason that we survived our time there. So we I have to some of the were you into those questions are always asked, and I say I really like hip hop. I grew up in the Bronx, and they always go, none of that stuff is like really good, and so I always have to go is like the mainstream stuff typically talks about the same three concepts. However, there is hip hop for absolutely everybody. You want conscious rap? Listen to Kendrick. Okay, and that's just me naming one big name right now. There are so many good rappers right now who rap about a lot of different stuff that isn't what people believe hip hop to just be as a genre, which is shaking your ass, which is popping Xannies, which is doing lean, which is gang banging. Hey,
speaking of gangbangers, got to throw this in real quick. Federal judge has approved for 6ix9ine to be released.
He was released yesterday, bro.
Yesterday?
He was released yesterday. He was on.
Well, the people didn't even know. People didn't. They could have just assumed we were recording yesterday.
That's fair. That's fair.
Had to put me on blast on the podcast.
My bad. But the first corny thing that this dude did was hit up Instagram Live right away and to let him know that he was free. So, a conversation.
And everyone on quarantine, so he's safe right now.
There you go. So a conversation for a different day is whether we think he's going to get. Where we don't condone putting bounties on people's heads, and we don't condone assassins, unless they're the good assassins. But
no, he's going to be witness protection at McDonald's.
I don't think he has the personality or the sense of urgency to go through a witness protection. I think this individual needs to be seen and heard. And so I honestly think he's going to release music. I think people are still going to listen to it. And I think he will make the mistake of doing public appearances. And only then will I continue this conversation.
Okay. Well, let's jump into the next one then.
All right.
And this will be one of yours now.
Okay. Billionaires should have a cap of how much wealth they can have. I propose you cannot go past a $40 billion net worth.
I see exactly what you're saying. However, it's kind of impossible to make that happen.
I wouldn't say impossible. I say there would be a lot of kinks. And I would also say that in my consideration of this, I didn't think of a salary cap because I think there's a lot of sleazy ways that people can hold that. I also acknowledge that there are sleazy ways that you can hide your net worth, but I don't truthfully think that anybody should have over $40 billion in liquid and assets. I think that's ridiculous. And so I think if it's not a cap on net worth, there needs to be a cap on salary. I'm not one of those people that say that billionaires shouldn't exist. I am one of those people that say super billionaires should not exist. It does not make sense. Anybody that tries to hit me with the argument of they worked hard to get that money, I'm going to say, yeah, that's fine. You can have your $40 billion, but why do you need 100? Because it seems like I'm throwing arbitrary numbers down, but I'm not. There are some people with a net worth of over $100 billion in this country, and it does not make any sense. And what happens with those assets typically is that it's just passed down, and is the concept of generational wealth, and the liquid stays there, and it does not go around the economy, or it does not go around the important parts of the economy. It goes towards other billionaires, and it goes towards making them richer, and it does not make sense in my opinion.
I agree. I see how it doesn't make sense. I just, the way that we currently have our system just allows for that to happen. So
let me get,
so like, you say salary, like let's say I'm a CEO of a crazy business, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say, oh, I'm gonna take a salary of $1. Look at me.
Right. You know, so, Jeff Bezos' salary is actually like $81,000 or something.
So I get my $1 in the mail. You know, they don't even make it $1. They just send me 4 quarters.
Right.
And then my pay is in stocks.
Right.
Well, if my company does well, people buy a bunch of stocks, and now my net worth goes up, even though it's not quote unquote liquid money.
Right.
Now, if I sell my stocks, now I do have real money. So it's all, to me, it's all like a game, and the people that can manipulate it, you know, they end up winning. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying if you're gonna have a free market system, you're gonna have billionaires.
Right. So on the screen, Rico Grande can see this as well. I have the list of the world's real-time billionaires. This is easily accessible on Forbes. Okay. The YouTube viewership can see this right now on the screen as well. Jeff Bezos. And so people don't think I was throwing arbitrary numbers down, and my 40 billion is just something that I just randomly came up with. Jeff Bezos' net worth as of April 2nd, reported by Forbes, is $117.3 billion. Again, this is his net worth. It fluctuates probably every day because most of his net worth, I would assume, is Amazon stock. But I don't understand. How can one, like, to quote Kanye, no one man should have all that power. Like, not one person should have this much money. It's insane. The net worth stays. Yes, these billionaires donate, but if we tax them properly or we had a cap, the country would have way more funds than relying on billionaires to do the right thing and donating some of their ridiculous earnings. I think it's ridiculous that, and I understand how much Bill Gates has done. Bill Gates has a beautiful foundation. Bill Gates has done great things. Bill Gates, in my opinion, should not have $99.3 billion in net worth. It's insane. There needs to be a cap. So then when we go in here, that's number 1 and number 2, right? Jeff Bezos comes at number 1. Bill Gates comes at number 2. I propose a $40 billion, and I know I sound like Bernie Sanders, and not even, because Bernie would be like, no billionaires at all. You stop at 999.9 million. I've had enough, right? I'm not Bernie, okay? Look, let's see how many billionaires this would actually impact. This doesn't tell us how many people are on this list, but we're scrolling down. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, number 4. Mark Zuckerberg, number 6 at 59.2 million. Michael Bloomberg at 55.8 billion at 9th place. We keep going down. Now we're getting into the low 50s. Now we're getting into the 30s. Okay, so this would impact 17 billion, and actually some of them are from different countries. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 American billionaires in the top 18. Fun fact, by the way, that this would impact. All of these other billionaires who are making 40 billion or lower, be fine with that net worth that you have. Or, we're going to do small progressive steps. But I just, it's not even.
Scroll up. You see number 22?
Mackenzie. What
No,
does Mackenzie?
so that's from the divorce.
Oh, that's a fact. I forgot that was going. As part of the divorce settlement, Jeff transferred 25% of his Amazon stake to Mackenzie, which was 4% of the company. That's insane.
So look, that's why you want that arranged marriage. You just want to marry a billionaire.
And then have her divorce me.
And now, Vapi Chulo will be on the list too.
Oh, that's wild. Yo, Mackenzie, hit me up. Elon Musk is up here at number 27 with a humble $28.8 billion. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. That's one of my discussion controversial topics.
My proposition for the millionaires is to look at this list, right?
Yes.
And then just give me the number that comes after the decimal.
Fam, you would be set for life.
Like 0.4 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good. That's just 400 million, you know.
Yeah.
Like, just give me everyone just give me 0.1 of one of your billions.
And then that starts your generational wealth as well. Your kids is gonna be fine.
No, they would have to earn it. I'll
like
put them
that.
some stipulations in a trust.
But
it'd be cool stipulations like design something, get a degree in something fun.
That's cool.
You know,
mine is gonna be stupid. Mine's gonna be like, you get this $500 if you could spit a 8 as a freestyle. Like, you gotta give me 8 hot bars consecutively, and you get your $10,000.
How about if they don't earn it?
But yeah,
all I had to do was drop a hot 16. I couldn't do it.
So anybody who wants to look at the list again, you could just look up billionaires. It's on Forbes. The YouTube viewership, you could see it on the video. On the comments or on social media, write to us if you agree with somewhat of the stance that I take. One, do you agree? Do you not? And if you do, or if you do, how would you go about? What would be your cap? What's the reasoning for your cap? If you don't eloquently and articulately express your opinion, I'm not saying that this is the right way to think. I'm telling you this is how I think. So,
all right. So, we've been talking for a little bit now.
We have.
Let's commit ourselves to one more topic each.
We'll
jump into one more, and then we'll end it for today. Because I got one. I don't think it's going to be long because it doesn't come from an arena that you have a lot of expertise in.
Okay. Do you want to save yours? Because mine is probably going to be like 30 seconds long.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Marijuana should be legalized at the federal level, and all the taxes from it should go to the education system.
Oh, clap. That's not controversial.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Only here can you get this content. All right. Only at the Horn of Plenty podcast can you get this analysis. All right. So let's not even. If y'all want to hear more about that, I think the argument could have been made that the taxes should, like, the way I try to make it controversial, it just going towards the education system. Those taxes can be used in other shape, ways, and form. But I think that our country underfunds education at every level. So I think that would be a good solution for it. But Rico Grande, I hope your next topic is really good then, because we're gonna close on yours.
It is. Maybe not so much for you, but for the listeners, if they make it this far, this is definitely a good one.
Okay.
And that is, Michael Jordan is not the best basketball player of all time.
All right, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Is it true? I always hear two different perspectives. In the infamous, I think did he have a flu in that basketball game that everybody always mentions when they mention Michael Jordan?
He did have a very famous flu game. It was in the playoffs, and I don't want to get this point total wrong. Everyone's going to think I don't know basketball when I'm a big basketball fan. He dropped 61 or 63 points. He had a phenomenal game with the
flu.
Yes.
I heard that he was being very dramatic about it, and it wasn't a flu, and I heard that, in fact, that it was the flu. So do you have any knowledge as to that?
To my knowledge, he did have the flu.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll go with that for now.
Who knows? There's about to be a 10-part documentary that's dropping later this month.
That's fair.
Sure.
Yep. Okay.
I'm sure it'll be in there.
All right. So let me tell the fans right now, Rico Grande is a way bigger sports fan than I am. I just dabble. And so, being not as knowledgeable about it, and if this is a conversation we want to continue, I will definitely do more research and listen to Stephen A. Smith's take and Max Kellerman's take and everything else. And then make a more informed opinion.
I'll put it this way: he's rarely talked about as being the next person after Jordan to be the greatest, and I feel like it's disrespectful.
Okay, talk to me a little bit more.
All right, so Vapi Chulo, with your very limited sports fandom.
Okay.
If I said it wasn't Jordan, because you would probably think about Jordan. And I said, "Oh, go pick somebody."
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think I might say?
I would say LeBron James.
That very popular pick, not my pick.
Not your pick, okay.
Anyone else? Because there's my two favorite players of all time.
All right, I know who it would either have to be. With my very limited knowledge, the conversation has to go either LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace.
Those are the most popular choices for best players after Jordan.
Okay.
However, I feel even Michael Jordan himself, Air Jordan, is number 2 to this man.
And it's not LeBron James or Kobe Bryant.
No. It is Mr. Skyhook himself, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay. I'm familiar. I know that he was very influential in basketball, and there's a lot of symbolism with him being one of the greatest. Give me your take as to why.
All right, so I'm looking at total basketball career. So I'm looking at just everything this person does on the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar both have 6 championships.
Mm-hmm.
So they're tied. In terms of championships on the NBA, they're tied. Now, Jordan was a 6 times finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a 2 times final MVP. So he beats him there. Where he doesn't beat him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a 19-time All-Star. He was a 6-time league MVP. He won 2 championships as an assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was in college, at the College of UCLA, he won 3 championships in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, the freshmen weren't allowed to play varsity, so he played on a freshman team his first year. Then the second he was able to make it onto the main team, this man didn't lose. Also retired as the number 1 all-time scoring leader.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in both careers next to each other, to me, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best player to ever step on a basketball court.
And in 2016, my man, President Barack Obama, awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Exactly. Now Jordan will get the praise because of everything. Like, he took the league to an entire new level from a marketing perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You got, the Air Jordan, you got the Jordan shoes. I'm not a sneaker person, so I don't care.
Oh, he grew up in Dykeman.
I was rocking the Shaq, the
Mm-hmm.
Walmart Shaq shoes back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never owned a pair of Jordans. But just from the commercial aspect, Jordan took the game to a whole other level. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the center. Michael Jordan was the shooting guard. So different kinds of plays. Jordan had all the dunks, had all the shots. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was just in the post. Mm-hmm. So he was playing a different kind of position where it wasn't as flashy. But he was the greatest of all time. I mean, if you really look at all the total career, you're going to look at college. You're going to look at the pros. We could look at Michael Jordan in the front office with the Charlotte Bobcats versus Kareem Abdul-Jabbar coaching. That's kind of unfair. Michael Jordan isn't a good executive. He drafted Kwame Brown. For the sports listeners will know what that's about. But to me, you just can't be Abdul-Jabbar. The reason why he's not as liked as much as Jordan is that his personality wasn't quite the same.
Okay.
He had a strong political opinions on many things and converted to Islam.
Okay. I respect it.
Which in this country came with backlash, especially at the time he did it.
Absolutely.
The same as the late great Muhammad Ali.
Absolutely, that's huge. We'll talk about that at some point. That's really
so
huge.
Athletes taking religious stands and not being best friends with the media definitely paints the narrative. But on the basketball court, it's hard to deny him. Also, other players like Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, they rank him as number one ahead of everyone else. Got to take their opinion with it as well. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, greatest basketball player to step on the court.
Learned a lot, and he's from New York. He grew up in Dyckman. So
Blue Wall Cinder, as he was before he converted.
Listen, I promised for the sport viewers that I would never step on Rico Grande's toes when we talk about sports, and that given advance notice, I would do research to actually contribute. But hey, yo, we covered a lot. Man. We talked about how did we even start that? Will Smith. We talked about Will Smith. Dabbled into anime and sports. Where else did we cover today?
Oh, well, we covered holidays. We covered fast food.
Yes.
We covered rap.
Yes.
We covered we are living up to our name, Horn of Plenty. That is our job. It's not Horn of a little bit.
No, not at all.
It's not Horn of Pequeño.
No.
It's Horn of Plenty.
Absolutely.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put two other opinions out there. We're not even gonna talk about it. We're gonna leave it for the viewers. If they want to engage, they can engage. If this podcast pop off in like 8 months, they could come back. It's like, oh snap! Look, they were talking about things 8 months ago, more than Corona.
Okay, facts. Yeah, we haven't mentioned that one time, by the way, and I'm proud of us for not doing it. So keep going.
I'm gonna drop a Corona controversial opinion.
Okay.
But I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna start with that one first.
Okay.
Corona is not a top 3 virus. We're not gonna talk about it.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep my. He gonna be like, it's not no T virus. If we look at the Resident Evil's lore, it's definitely not top 5.
Not a T virus. It's not a top 3. Not a top 3.
Okay.
It's like our tier system is maybe like a tier.
Okay.
But it's not S or triple S tier.
All right.
Okay, that's one.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna leave that alone.
I'm just dropping some. I
got you.
The people, if we have a comment section, they can debate it in the comments.
Okay.
The Office and Friends are wildly overrated.
Fam, The Office is my favorite comedy show of all time. I've seen every episode. I'm not joking. Minimum 12 times because I've seen all the seasons from beginning to end 12 times. So I've actually probably seen them more.
There we go.
So this is what we'll do, right? Eventually, I'm going to have a compilation of hilarious moments from The Office, and we're going to have you react to them way down the line.
All right.
Okay.
I got a couple more.
Okay, keep going. Fast money round.
Yeah, I'm just dropping them and then moving on.
Okay.
The present, as in right now, today,
okay,
is the best era for hip-hop.
I agree.
And lastly, Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a top 5 action star.
I agree.
I got The Rock, Stallone, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, and Jason Statham all ahead. Not top 5.
I agree.
And this one's the last. Nicki Minaj, not a top 3 female rapper.
Bro, that's not an argument. That's that's you see the issue viewership. Rico Grande and I agree on way too much, and so like at a certain point, one of us is gonna start having to play devil's advocate because we just naturally agree on a lot of things. But if for any of you who think Nicki Minaj is top 3 women MCs of all time, this is my first hot take in in the podcast, is that you don't listen to rap. You are not educated on the women MCs of the past if you believe that Nicki Minaj is on the top 3. I would not dispute anybody that wants to give her the number 5 slot. And I'll dispute anybody who puts her in the top 10. Listen, if you can't name more than 7 female MCs, do not have this conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even think she's top 3 right now.
No, she's not. I would put... listen, I would have to think about where I put Nicki, but I know for sure Nicki does not touch my top 5 women MCs list.
No. Well, we're in agreement there. I have family out there that will very strongly disagree.
I don't know. Your wife may disagree. I know.
No, she won't.
Oh, okay.
No, she won't. She doesn't listen to music like that.
Okay. Oh, that's true.
She's yeah. Nicki's not better than Doja Cat.
Yo, we need to have a serious conversation about Doja Cat because y'all are sleeping on Doja Cat.
The whole world. And Snow the Product, if you know who Snow the Product
I don't know who that is.
Criminally slept on. But it's another day. We're at the end.
Yes, we are. All right, close the show off, Rico Grande.
Hey, everyone, we listened. We talked about everything. Thank you for listening to us. Come back next week. We'll have some new topics, some new lists, some new jokes, and some more fun for you all. Have a good day. Hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.